But first at noon, we are continuing to track Hurricane Irene. Right now, this monster storm is lashing the Bahamas. It strengthened into a Category 3 hurricane this morning. Now, Bahamas Prime Minister urged people to really take those warnings seriously.
On behalf of our country, I ask the prayers of the clergy and others for the safety of the people of the Bahamas. We can and will replace and restore anything we may lose. We cannot replace life.
Meanwhile, people up and down the east coast of the United States are being urged to prepare. Evacuations underway on the islands just off of the North Carolina's Outer Banks. Irene has already caused damage and flooding in the Caribbean. This is new video from Puerto Rico of Irene's aftermath. And there is a chance that Irene could impact our weather this coming weekend. Meteorologist Michelle Muscatello is tracking Irene. She joins us now with the very latest. Michelle?
Well, Danielle and Patrick, Irene becoming a major hurricane this morning as it strengthened to a Category 3 hurricane. And while the National Hurricane Center with their latest update didn't change the track of the storm, they did change the intensity of it as it moves across the Bahamas, strengthening to perhaps a Category 4 storm by tomorrow. Right now, you can see on the satellite imagery this strong storm, and I've turned on an enhanced layer that can kind of identify the eye there for you of this storm as it works its way across the Bahamas at this noontime. Now, the latest information from the National Hurricane Center has this as a Category 3 hurricane with winds of 115 miles per hour and gusts to 140 miles per hour, making a turn now to the northwest at 10 miles per hour, which will take it almost directly across the Bahamas. And there you have it by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, a Category 4 hurricane with 135 mile-an-hour winds. And then from there, expected to move just east of the Outer Banks of North Carolina on Saturday and head our direction. And you can see that we are still in the path of this storm with the latest information from the National Hurricane Center, but there's still a lot of room for changes in that track, and I'll have the latest for you, plus some potential impacts on our area for the weekend, all coming up.
All right, thanks, Michelle. Eyewitness News moving to Providence now, where the mayor and city emergency officials tell us they are preparing for a possible hit from Irene. They say they will clear storm drains and work with the Army Corps of Engineers regarding the Fox Point hurricane barrier. They're also advising residents to take precautions as well. We caught up with Governor Chafee this morning and asked what state emergency officials are doing to prepare for Irene.
They were meeting yesterday morning, and I'm sure that's continuing. We'll be monitoring it very, very closely.
Governor Chafee says the snowstorms that battered the state earlier this year make him confident officials will be prepared for Irene.
Meanwhile, preparations are also underway in New Bedford. A couple of weeks ago, federal inspectors declared the city's hurricane barrier sound. Mayor tells us he feels it will hold if Irene comes calling.
And it is designed for a maximum hurricane surge that would come into the city of New Bedford. So I feel very confident that we're protected.
Now, New Bedford's fire chief says some danger could come after the storm passes, such as people using candles if the power goes out. We've also learned that a Kenny Chesney concert that was scheduled for Sunday at Gillette Stadium is now going to be moved to Friday because of the possible storm. And count on Eyewitness News for continuing coverage as we track Irene. Our Pinpoint weather team is keeping a very close eye on it all. We'll have team coverage beginning tonight live at 5. We also have much more online right now at WPRI.com, including the latest on Irene's track and vital information on how to prepare for any hurricane.